Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. First one is about Argo Liberation Front. Around 48 hours ago, Amhara Regional President briefing Amhara Regional Council disclosed that Amhara Regional Government was considering talks with Argo Democratic Movement, though he used the term Argo Shingo. Then yesterday, Tigray TV aired a report about demands of Argo Liberation Front. It seems that Tigray intends to use this issue, the demand of Argo Liberation Front fighters, to counter Amhara region's claim to Volkait. Secondly, viewers, the Teff price is skyrocketing in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Teff is becoming almost a rare commodity at Teff sale centers and markets. What is happening? From where does Teff arrive in Addis Ababa? Oromia or Amhara? Which region is restricting supplies of Teff to Addis Ababa? And thirdly, your Somaliland, Ethiopia is going to host a dialogue between Garads of Las Anod and Somaliland government in Addis Ababa reportedly. What does this development indicate? Is Ethiopia again emerging as a key player in the Horn of Africa? Firstly, viewers, 2 days ago, Amhara Regional Council held a regular session. And Yilkal Kifale, Amhara Regional President, spoke there. He briefed the Regional Council and he disclosed that Argo Shingo had shown interest in peaceful solution to the ongoing problem, ongoing demands of Argo fighters. Now, Argo Shingo is another party which has been conducting a peaceful struggle. But most sources in the Amhara region say that Yilkal basically mentioned Argo Democratic Movement or Argo Liberation Front. Basically, he was talking about armed group in Amhara region, Argo armed group. Most sources say that he was referring to Argo Liberation Front, though he used the term Argo Shingo. And immediately after that, we saw a report on Tigray TV. Tigray TV broadcast a report around 24 hours ago. Tigray TV showed some Argo fighters. One of them has been a leading fighter in Argo Liberation Front, ALF, which came under spotlight when Tigray fighters entered Amhara region in 2021. Argo Liberation fighters are backed, trained and armed by Tigray fighters mainly based in Waghimra, North Wollo zones of the Amhara region. And we know the two districts of Waghimra are still under the control of Tigray fighters, Abergale and Trisagbich. And Tigray TV's report showed Argo fighters who said that their right to have an independent Ethiopian Argo regional state was non-negotiable. This report was aired immediately after the announcement by Amhara regional president regarding talks between Amhara government and Argo Democratic Movement, Argo Liberation Front. So either there are no talks ongoing between Amhara government and Argo Liberation Front, and talks are between Amhara government and some other faction, some other party of Argo ethnic group, or talks are underway, but Tigray is using its leverage which it has on Argo fighters. And Argo fighters were heard saying on Tigray TV that their right to have a state, a regional state, must be respected. It's non-negotiable, no talks on it. Just like Amhara regional government officials, some Amhara leaders say that Volkayat is non-negotiable, no talks on Volkayat. Volkayat is Amhara. Same is the demand of Argo fighters, largely comparing the two sides' statements. So it means that Tigray is definitely backing Argo Liberation Front fighters because Amhara region has claimed it has control of Volkayat, and if Volkayat issue remains unresolved, Tigray will keep on backing Argo fighters, and this conflict will continue. Tigray is definitely using ALF as a group against Amhara government, like Amhara government is trying to consolidate control of Volkayat, which Tigray says is part of Tigray. But Pretoria Agreement clearly states that TPLF cannot back any armed faction in any part of the country, armed or otherwise. So legally, it would be difficult for TPLF to formally back ALF, but ALF's leaders are being shown on Tigray TV. Secondly, viewers, second news story is about Teff price skyrocketing in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. It's a staple crop. Addis Ababans rely on wheat and Teff, but Teff price has increased around 30% from last month, and almost there is no Teff available for purchase in Addis Ababa markets. And Teff price right now is around 10,000 Ethiopian birds for a quintal, for 100 kilogram pack, and the wheat price is increasing too. Addis Ababa does not grow any Teff. Obviously, Teff arrives in Addis Ababa from Amhara and Oromo regions. From Amhara, we have seen restrictions on movement of people and vehicles into Addis Ababa, and yesterday a news source from Oromia claimed that trained fighters trained in Irati and Amhara, they were being sent to Addis Ababa from Amhara through Oromium. That is why checkpoints will be established. So there is growing mistrust between Addis Ababa, Oromia and Amhara region. That is why we're seeing thorough checkings on Addis Ababa, on Oromia Amhara border. Several viewers contacted me. They said, Sajid, you are sharing a false information aired by a news source in Oromia. You are endangering the lives of people. I am just sharing what they said. It's not that all people entering Addis Ababa from Amhara region are extremists. Yes, there could be some elements. We cannot deny that. It does not mean that all are extremists or all are hardliners. From Amhara region, supply of Teff to Addis Ababa suffered after thorough checkings on Oromia Amhara border. And secondly, from Oromia, supplies to Addis Ababa decreased as well. Why? Because in Oromia region, government has fixed a price for purchase of Teff from farmers. Farmers are not accepting the price, so they are not selling their Teff to government. That is why we are seeing shortage of supply to Addis Ababa, both from Oromia and Amhara, and it is having its impact in the form of increased prices in Addis Ababa. Thirdly, viewers, Somaliland, Las Anod conflict, almost a month into this conflict now, no signs of any lasting solution. Ethiopia is trying to host dialogue between Garads of Su, Las Anod and Somaliland government starting from tomorrow. Next week, we could see start of talks in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, between SSC, Garads and Somaliland government. Somaliland Parliament chairman was in Jigjiga, Somali region of Ethiopia yesterday, though 2 days ago, Musi Bey of the cabinet accused Somali region of having sent Somali region special force to Las Anod. But Somali region's government denied the allegations, and now Somali region's parliament chairman is in Jigjiga. And after that, we could see start of talks in Addis Ababa between the two sides. Addis Ababa sent a top-level delegation to Somaliland 2 days ago, headed by a general who has been leading Somali region's special force. He is now working for military intelligence of Ethiopia. The Ethiopian delegation returned from Somaliland, and then we saw that fighting resumed. Small scale fighting resumed. There is relative calm now, but no permanent ceasefire. That is why Ethiopia is trying to play its role, because tens of thousands of refugees have entered Ethiopia from Seoul, from Las Anod. Ethiopia shares border with Somaliland. Ethiopia has economic interests in Somaliland too. Ethiopia wants to use Berbera port. It is interested in using and developing Zila port. And it is worried about the influx of refugees. There could be elements backed by Al-Shabaab too. So Ethiopia has security concerns, it has humanitarian concerns, it has other issues. That is why it is trying. And we discussed in a previous video that SSC fighters could claim Somali region of Ethiopia one day if they announce independence. So that is why there are different types of challenges for Ethiopia if this conflict goes on. That is why Ethiopia is hosting a dialogue. Reportedly, though not officially confirmed so far, but reportedly next week we could see start of talks between SSC and Somaliland government in Addis Ababa. If it happens, it means that Ethiopia is once again emerging as a key player in the Horn of Africa, which Ethiopia was before the start of Tigray war. Ethiopia was contributing to peacekeeping missions, UN, African Union. It mediated what happened during Sudanese internal conflict, but then Ethiopia was trapped in its internal war, 2-year-long war. War is over, and now Ethiopia is trying to emerge as a regional player once again. Try to update you in coming videos about talks if it happened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Thank you for watching.